I'll rewind.
Okay, Joni, how you recruiting people?
Okay, so I started about 3 months ago and rechanged my whole process. And instead of reaching out to Rockstars first about hosting a party, I now plant the seed on Tuesday mornings about the business. Hey, you're amazing. Have you ever thought about this? And then by Thursday, if they haven't responded, then I go back and I make sure I tag them in a post to say, hey, check your messenger, because we all know, sometimes people don't see the messages. And that's how I've actually gotten the last 3 people. They weren't even hosts. They were customers in parties. And then the one I got yesterday, she was a teacher that I met over a year ago in a party. And I've just constantly, not harassing, but every once in a while when we've got the special, like $25. And finally she called me and I'm like, thank you. Here we go. So she's excited. So, but I'm telling you, changing that whole thing about, because I was so focused like the first 6 months of my business with y'all, just about getting bookings. I wasn't really sending out, pushing about the business so much. And ever since I changed that focus, yeah, it's skyrocketed.
I love it. Yeah. And you always think too, like the second thing you ask is always less committal. So the percentage is so much higher for them to say yes to the second thing you ask. That's just a whole old sales tactic that's always been true. So if you're starting them with the booking, and then our human nature is no, like our first response is no. And so if you're asking them first to book a show, no, right? But if you're asking them first about selling, and it most likely is going to be a no, then you can say, I completely understand. This may not be for everybody. I just wanted to ask because I never know who may need this business. But I would love to get you some free stuff by doing a recipe week with you. Then not only does that commitment go down for them, but the sense of wanting to help or the likelihood of them helping then goes up. Right. So, and the same thing, everything you ask, the commitment goes down, but the desire to help goes up at that point. So I really feel like we've got to get our new consultants on board with asking about the business first. And then not only is that going to help their algorithm, their brain algorithm, but just help with their confidence. And then, it's kind of something that you do. Like you always teach your kids the ABCs. It always starts with an A. Would you ever start with B? That would be weird, right? So why are we starting our new consultants off and leaving the A out? The possibility of this business, because we each know and we each all have big reasons why this or how this business has helped us. And what if our recruiter didn't ask us? Like, what would our life look like? And how would it be different right now? Where would we be sitting? Because I will tell you, I would not be sitting right here in my house with my pajamas on and no bra.
Okay.
I got my sweatshirt on. If I get hot, y'all in trouble.
I'll tell you that I started doing, and one of my ladies that I've had for like 9 months, she finally got her first recruit, is that I've started, even though they've got all the host coach and everything I do in the mornings for my parties, I copy and paste it and I put it in my personal team chat and say, just a reminder, this is what I'm doing today. And that's how this chick Pam finally got somebody to join the team.
Brilliant. Yes, girl, you got smarts in there. Yes, piggyback the things that you are already doing with your team members. Whatever you're doing, what if we did this? What if we did this for the rest, for the next couple weeks? Everything that we do that day, we share with our team members. So for example, I posted the raccoon post, but I did the monkey one. So I'm posting this on my wall. What if when I post it on my wall, I put it in my team chat and I'll say, hey y'all, I'm doing this. And this is the message I'm going to send to people when they comment. And then tomorrow, I'm going to ask all my future hosts about the business. So then I'm going into my team chat right after I do that. Just like Joni said, could you imagine the impact that would make on your team? One, because a lot of times they don't know to do it. Maybe they were not on the training call that taught them how to do that. Or maybe they were insecure about doing it. Or maybe they felt like they didn't have the right wording. Maybe they just didn't think to do it that day. Maybe they've done it before, but then they forgot about it, because you know that happens all the time. And so if you put it out there on your team page, hey, or your chat, I wanted to make sure you all feel good and equipped and confident with the things that you're doing every day. I'm just going to share with you daily the things that I do. Could you imagine the impact that would make? I will tell you this, as successful, and I'm going to call Jessica out, as successful at her business as she is, Jessica, sometimes we'll be talking and she's like, why did you never tell me that? I'm like, girl, I thought you knew that. I thought you've been doing this whole time. She's like, no, you never told me. And I was like, well, I told somebody, surely. Or sometimes I just don't realize I'm doing something that would be beneficial to other people. Like, y'all know me, you know, I would never, ever hold back any good info. Like if I got, well, okay, other than national top secret stuff, that I have to, or I lose my job. So Jessica, don't ask me again. But other than that, other than things that I'm not allowed to share, I will share anything with you all. I will give you any information. I don't care. Like, I want you all to be successful. I want to give you all everything that I have up here. Sometimes I just don't know. Like, I just assume that y'all are doing it. Why? I don't know, because I just think that's what everybody does.
Okay, that brings up a real question, because I was kind of thinking about that. Like, I'm getting ready to hear the playback from last night. I hate that I missed those, but I always learn something new. Like Jessica telling us in the last call a couple weeks ago about the little Google extra thing to help send reminders automatically. I didn't know that. And I know we're all busy, but it would be great if somebody that totally had tons of free time, which I know is none of us, could set up like a checklist for all of us as directors now. So don't forget this. Do you know that? I mean, you know what I mean? It just be, the team calls are great and get all that, but it's kind of like you said. I mean, we all have a like, oh, I didn't know that kind of moment. Right. So that would be great, but I know who's got the time to do that.
I mean, it would be great. Absolutely. But then again, like I could make a list and I could be missing half of the stuff that I do just because I don't think about it. Like I don't realize somebody, I don't know. I don't even remember who it was, but we were talking about post my party and adjusting the whole party. Like you go down to the bottom and you can adjust it by 1 minute and it adjusts every oh, Jessica. Okay. It adjusts every single post.
That was me too. For a year and a half, I had been doing that up until July. I just found out, and I was running like 10 parties a week. I literally saved 2.5 days from my schedule. And I was like, what do I do with myself now?
Recruit some more people.
You told me that in November in Maryland. I was like, what?
Yeah. Wait. Things like that. I don't know that y'all don't know. So that's why I love this call. Like we can brain dump and just put things out there. Text replacement is a big aha. The pin in the groups up to the top of your toolbar or whatever you call that thing. That was like a big, boards. Melanie Hogan has been doing boards forever. She's keeping that stuff to herself, right? It's one of those things. I knew about it. I heard about it back in March of last year because I actually downloaded the app and I had a couple pictures in there, but then I didn't do anything with it. Right? So just things like that we're using and is effective for us. And we just assume everybody's using them. So I think that could be huge for our teams. Just every day saying, I'm doing this today, or I thought this might be helpful today. Just kind of doing a brain dump and giving them different ideas and stuff. It doesn't have to be like every day a booking tip or a recruiting tip. It could just be, hey, did you know that you can adjust your parties in one little, click of the switch, whatever. Yeah. So what else? What else are y'all doing that's exciting?
I got 3 bookings in 30 minutes off of the monkey post. And then I've gotten 3 recruits this month. One's been a host. One's been a person who I've spoken to several months now that just watches the stuff I post on my personal page. And then the third one was a daughter of a host that just joined. But I have changed up for this month at least what I've been saying, did you know that Pember Chef is allowing us to try it for 90 days for just $25 this month to see if you like it or not? And that instead of like, hey, do you want to join? There's a $25. I tell them basically, kind of like Leah always says, date me before you marry me. Hey, for $25, you can try it for 90 days. And that gets people interested now,
Yeah. I like
but
that.
that's been my wording lately.
And I think a lot of it is just taking the fear out of it, the commitment, because people like, do you want to sell Pampered Chef? Well, I don't have time for that. Well, what if you just tried for 30 days? What if you signed up, you got this $25 kit. I helped you run a launch show. We're going to have fun. You're going to make money and some products. And then we'll just see how it goes after that. Like, what if just take all that commitment out of it? What's the big deal? Like, what's keeping you from trying it? Stacy, how many recruits you got this month?
I have 4. My team has 5. But I wanted to share with you guys, especially Jennifer and Jessica, because they know how hard this is for me, but I finally gave up my nursing job.
What?
Yeah. I think timing really was everything, because I don't remember if I shared with you, but they shut down our ORs here. So, and that being my main job and working for a surgeon, I just felt like it was the most appropriate time. So I went ahead and I did it. I'm still kind of nervous. I'm really like scared and trying to figure out how to make the most of my time now that I'm home more. So it's an adjustment all the way around.
Wow.
Just look at how much extra time you have now, and you're gonna even double your sales than you already a rock star at, girl. I've been telling you that since when? November?
Since November.
That's awesome. I do think it's timing. I think that, everything just had to line up right. But girl, holy cow, I can't imagine what you're going to do now that you have all this free time on your hands.
Everybody better buckle up. Stacy's going.
That's right.
I was going to say, dang, Stacy, I mean, you're already a rock star and you were still working a full-time job. And you're making me look like a slacker. Oh, that's awesome, though. Congratulations.
And she has like a farm or something too. What?
Yeah, I have a lot of baby goats that are getting ready to be born. I have 6 that we're expecting, and I have 2 other babies here right now. So,
Yeah.
And then I have my grandkids 2 days a week. So.
Okay, can we just sit and think on that for a second? Can we just think
You
on
have
that for a second?
Oh my God, you look like you're 20.
Jessica kind of had the same response when I said that, when I said something about grandkids.
Yeah, we all did. We all did. Yeah, I mean, so if Stacy can do it, we can do it. We can.
Hey, Stacy, can you just do a YouTube channel just for like a week, a day in the life of Stacy, so I can watch and see how you get all this done and do $20,000 in sales yourself each month? Come on now. Or how about I just fly?
I was going to say, I think I'll need you to do that, because I can't fit anything else on my plate.
Right.
But I love the idea of sharing what you do daily with your team. I think that's going to be a total game changer, and I love that journey. I'm definitely going to start implementing that. I had actually connected my 2 newest team members because they're kind of like right at the same level. So even though I do the project broadcast and send out my new member onboarding daily, I put them in a group chat together. That way I could kind of tell them the tidbits, such as, the right post and, sending the reminders and things like that. So that I'm giving them that information all at the same time instead of messaging this one and then messaging that one. And, just little things like that, I think, make a big difference. And then those 2 will hopefully connect. That's my I would love to see those 2 connect, being that they're on the same level.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing that I always try to do when I do my monthly team calls. I like to try to get my team members to connect to one another. And I really think that's made a huge impact on my team culture.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you do to help them connect?
So sometimes, like, I play games the last 30 minutes of every one of my calls, and I change the games up every month. But so sometimes I'll kind of like team them up. So like, they're on a team together, or I've done where I've paired people and they had to write a letter to one another. Or, kind of like the whole pen pal thing used to be fun in school. Just different things like that. The Secret Santa, where they have to exchange a gift, and, I ask them to include in their Christmas card something fun about themselves that person may not have known about them. So I make stuff up as I go. I don't really plan it out. I'll literally think like a half an hour before. I'm like, shit, what am I gonna do this week?
Yeah. I like that, especially in your personal team meetings, doing some icebreaker at the beginning of every meeting or at the end or whatever, or get to know you more, because that really does build relationships. And you all know for a fact, the stronger your relationships, the bigger. Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all bringing all these cute babies in. Now, who is this, Stacy?
This is Paisley. This is my granddaughter.
Paisley.
She's like, oh, a pen.
Like, let me have mama's stuff. Oh my goodness. But the stronger the relationships, the less likely your team members are to leave. Right? I mean, it's a fact. And so the more connected they feel, the more they want to join in the calls, be on the trainings, join in anything that you're offering, because that's where their friends are. That's where their connection is. So I really want us to, work extremely hard to build that culture, build that friendship, build that community for them. And whatever that looks like for you all and your people, but that's what we need to work on, because the ones that feel a part of something will not leave. It makes it hard to leave, right? So I think all those are really good ideas. Any other ideas on that too? Just not making it always business.
No, I did something really silly. Like, I was like 15 minutes before the call, and like I said, I didn't have anything planned. So I was like, I don't know what game I'm going to do. So I pulled out my binder with my catalog in it. And so what I did was and this was probably the most fun they had. And I would describe an item and they had to tell me what it was. They got so competitive, and that was probably, like I said, the most fun that my team has had. And it was something so simple, like
That's
here we are,
awesome.
you know, worried about doing bingo and charades and stuff. And
Mhm.
sometimes it can just be those simple things. And I will probably do that again once the spring catalog comes out, just because it's fun, but it's also learning, especially if you have new team members. So
That's awesome. That's a
Yeah,
good
just-
idea, actually. I'm kind of thinking about what if we did something like that on our spring launch reveal? Like give a description, like a
yeah.
vague description of it, and then people can guess what the new product would be. That sounds fun.
Yeah, because people get very competitive.
Yeah, especially if you're like, you get a point and you get a point, and
Yes.
you're like, I want a point. Like, what the heck's a point? It's nothing. Just like in our parties, right? Oh my gosh, some people get so well, she shouldn't have got a point for that because she duplicated so and so. I'm like, it's a stupid game. But yeah, awesome, awesome, awesome. So let's see, Kelsey, what's been exciting for you all lately?
I have I have one current consultant that's been with me for a while. She wants to promote to director by March 1st, which is awesome. So I have a call with her tomorrow.
Who is that?
And then that is Kelly Megliori.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. So so she's on board now?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
she's ready. She
Nice.
wants to quit she wants to be like a full-time stay-at-home mom. So she's like, I really need to promote so I can make more money. So I was like, all right, let's go. And then my newest recruit, Sean, she wants to fast track to director. So I have a call with her on Thursday to talk about that. So I was kind of thinking about I only have those two people that want to promote, but if we did some kind of like Rockstar on the Rise thing, just so there's like, if we all are working towards promoting, we want to promote more directors anyway. So like, what if we all do something so that's more than just my two people and me like, yay, let's go. But like
Yes,
the more.
Yeah, and that's what I
Yeah.
was going to recommend for us too, is us putting together. So my plan for the call when we finish chatting here is I want to show you all how to identify your rock stars in your group. So I know it sounds like, oh, I know who's doing it, but I want you to show like strategically, I want to show you strategically how I've identified the people that will be my next directors. And Lynn keeps coming to my mind. Lynn Angulo, well, and Jill is a good example also of people that are not on my personal team that I went through the roster and was just looking, and they really stood out to me as being, you know, having the potential of being amazing at their businesses. And so I personally reached out to them and I was like, I just noticed your name and you've been doing amazing. And I just kind of wanted to see what your thoughts are on this business. And, you know, whatever, I don't remember exactly what Jill's response was, but I was like, I would love to, you know, work with you to make this happen. Did you realize that you could absolutely do that this month? And I just remember Lynn specifically because she was like, well, I thought about it, but I don't know that I could do it this month. And I was like, girl, if you only knew, you can absolutely do it this month, and let me help you. Like, let me show you how this can be done. And from the first day that we talked about her promoting to director, it happened at the end of that month. And I believe, Jill, wasn't that very similar with your story?
Yeah, I think when you reached out to me, I was like, no, I don't have any desire to build a team. And then you showed me like all the perks, and I had my 5 recruits within the month for sure. Couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, and I don't honestly think I would have gone for it if you hadn't personally reached out to me either. So
Yeah, and so Jill is not in my first gen. She's under another director. And the other director is a great director and very competent at what she does. But I feel like as her being a new director, she didn't really know or feel like she could lead Jill to promote to a director, right? And so, but I knew that. I saw the potential in Jill. And so when I approached Jill, I was like, you absolutely can do it. And Jill told me no at first, but I was like, are you sure? Because look at this. Like, I'm not asking you to be like this whole commitment of, all your time and all your energy. I'm just saying, look at these bonuses you could get. And she's like, oh, okay. And that chick's been on fire since then. Like, I'm like, Jill, what? Right? So it just takes you believing in someone more than they believe in themselves. Because I know myself, like before this business, I had the worst self-confidence. I did not believe, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I was good enough, that I deserved it, that I could do it. I didn't feel like I had the skill set to do it. This business has given me a sense of self-worth that nothing in my life has ever done. And so I've seen what it's done for me. I felt what it's done for me. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, it can do that for other people too. I know it can do that. And so if all it takes is me being somebody's cheerleader and pushing them a little further than they think they could go, doing a little more than they think they're capable of, I get chills. I get chills because knowing that somebody has that sense of accomplishment that they would not have had otherwise is worth more than anything Pampered Chef could give, like money wise, trip wise, whatever. So that is what this business is about, right? And as long as we keep that in mind when we're working with our team members, when we're working with new consultants, when we're working with hosts, whoever, when we keep that in mind, that's when we're going places. So, yeah, Jill is just a rocking and a rolling now. Jill, you've got a couple people that want to promote also, right?
Yeah, I have 3 people on my team that I have talked to. Katie's been working at it. Like she started at the beginning of December, and then the couple of weeks around Christmas, it just didn't work out for her, kind of like for everybody. And she's back on the track. She really wants to get it by March 1st though, because she's getting married in March and is going to be out of the country for a couple of weeks on her honeymoon. And I know it'll be tough for her to,
right.
She's not going to keep up with it while she's on her honeymoon. Obviously, I'm going to be taking care of her people for her, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you have a couple other people, because you had messaged me those two.
Yeah, I have one more person, and then I have one of my new girls. I think we can fast track her if I. Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's plan on, we definitely need to start Rockstars on the Rise. We have to do that because we need to get, and I think the first most crucial part of the Rockstars on the Rise program is reaching out to those people that you identify as a rock star and saying, oh my goodness, our leader, Jennifer has, look here, I'm always saying love because she's always been the leader. Now I'm the leader. I'm the boss. Jennifer is putting together a group for those people that we feel like have potential. And I chose you. I was allowed to pick 2 people and you are the one I'm picking. Think about how good that will feel to them. Right? Because they may in their mind feel like they're not doing enough, that they're not good enough, because they see people, maybe directors that are booking 20 shows and they're like, well, I'm over here, I only have 12 shows. I'm not nearly good enough. But that's phenomenal. If they have 12 shows, but they're insecure because they're seeing, these other people at different places in their business doing more than what they are. So that alone is empowering them and giving them the sense of confidence that I noticed you and I really feel like you can do this. Would you like to join? And then secondly, telling them, now this is going to be a commitment. The people that are going to do this are going to be expected to be on this call. They're going to be expected to do the things that we share on the calls because we know, because we've been there, we've done these things and we know that this works when it's implemented. And then we're going to hold you accountable for it. We're going to check in with you. We're going to say, okay, Kelsey, you know, the plan was to reach out to 10 people every day. How did that go? Right. And they're going to say, I didn't do it because whatever happened. And I'll say, okay, but you now, since, and I get you were sick or the kid was sick or what, this emergency happened, you couldn't do it yesterday. How are you going to make up for that day? So you couldn't do 10 yesterday. Now we're going to add an extra 5 today and tomorrow. Right. So, and that's the leader that we need to be for them. And I know that's hard for a lot of us because we don't want to be pushy. We don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. But if they're joining this group, they're asking to be held accountable. They want more out of this business. And if I'm their leader and I'm letting them get away with not doing the things, then I'm letting them fail. And that is not okay with me. Like, my job is to help them see success, and my job is to help them feel good about themselves. And if they go a day and they don't do the things, are they going to feel good about themselves? No. So then I'm going to check in and I'm going to say, if you couldn't get them done, then how are we going to make sure that you get it done? So you accomplish, at the end of the week, you feel good. When we get on our next call and Jennifer's saying, hey, who reached out to their people this week? You're raising your hand and you're the one that's saying, I got the bookings, I did the task, I did the things, and and I want you, my person, you're my person. I want you to be the one that's recognized. I want you to feel good about yourself. So it's my job to hold you accountable. Right? I know every single person on this call has been held accountable by me at one point or another, except for maybe Stacy, but Stacy's been held accountable by Leah, I'm sure. Right? And so did you feel like I was being mean or overbearing in doing that? No, I had your best interest at heart, and I knew what it took to get you where you said you wanted to go. And so if I'm not following up and making sure you did the things and you found the recruit leads and you're signing the people and you're getting the bookings, then I'm not doing my job. And you're going to fail, which feels bad. Nobody wants to feel that. And I definitely don't want you to feel like that. So that's why I'm going to make sure that I'm holding you accountable to the things you said you were going to do. Right.
So when can we get this scheduled?
We're going to do it right now. So let's, first of all, I'm going to screen share and show you how we're going to identify the rock stars. And then you're going to send me names of who you would like to be your rock star. Okay.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Just a thought that popped into my head. It's been a while since I've done this with my team. But I think what I'm going to do Friday through Sunday is do like a 72-hour recruiting challenge with my team. Because even though I recruit, my team doesn't recruit a whole lot. So I don't feel like I really have those rock star. Like I think all my team are rock stars, but they're not recruiting rock stars.
Well, yeah, no, we're going to find, they don't have to be recruiting rock stars in order to join us. And I'm trying to figure out why it's not letting me screen share. There we go.
How many, are we limited to 2 people?
Well, I don't know. We'll look and see. All right. So we're going, okay. There's a couple ways. So every single month, I do this religiously every single month at the beginning of the month and then the second week of the month. Okay. So the beginning of the month, I'm going to go into, let's see, where do I want to start? You all are seeing my consultant's corner, right? Okay. Let's do this. Let me start. I'm trying to think of where because I look in multiple places. No, let's do this. Performance tracker. So you go into consultant connection and we go into performance tracker. We had talked about this before. And then I want to go to year at a glance and then change it to the last, let's do September through December, because we know that December was kind of ridiculous. So say February 1st, I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at the people that sold last month, right? But this is we're kind of in a weird period right now because November, September, October were good. November was good. December, January's either you're doing really well or they're not doing well. We have those two dramatic things. So this 3 month at a glance is really going to give you a good picture of what we're looking for. All right, so I'm going to go through all of my team, and it may be smaller, but I want you to look at, okay, first we're going to look at the people that have been selling for a while and who has over $1,000 in sales. So I'm seeing Allie here. Okay, Allie has a couple team members, so absolutely, Allie is going to, I'm going to, signal that she's a rock star. So we're looking for who has high sales and who has a team member. I typically look to see who has 2 team members, but I'll work with anybody, right? So I'm looking through here, Allie's signaling. Now I'm looking at Jennifer. Well, she has 3 team members, but she hasn't been selling, and I know her story. She's not engaged at the moment. So she's where she typically would be when she's not. Sandy has a couple people, but I know her story. She's not selling. She has not been selling for a while. Here I see Ashley. Ashley has sold. She sold really good in September and November. So I'm going to put her on the list, which I already know. Like, these are people I've already looked into, but this is going to be your brand new people that you hadn't thought about. Sorry. This is if you're first looking through your list. I see Anne. Anne's done pretty good. She would maybe be somebody that I would approach about it. And then Jessica sold some stuff. She wasn't selling, and now she's coming back. Jessica actually used to be a director on our team. So I probably want to approach her about, hey, I noticed you've been selling some more. What would you like to see in your business? Again, anybody with a new team member or with a team member, you want to try to reach out to and say, hey, I just wanted to, see where you stood. Here, Wendy has pretty strong sales, and she has a team member, so she would be on my radar to ask. And then you want to look at anyone that is brand new, right? Anybody that's in their first 90 days of business, whether they have sold anything or not. And what we're going to do with these new people is we're going to send them a message that says, hey, I just want to kind of check and see where you were with, well, these are like my people. They're kind of out of getting close to their 90 days. No, they are out. Tasha, she's out. So Danette would be my person. But anybody that's close to their 90-day date. And you're going to reach out to them and you're going to say, hey, I noticed that your 90-day date is blank. Did you know that you have cash on the table waiting for you in a bonus? Would you like to hear more about it? And then you're going to tell them, I try not to use the word director because that scares them. They think that means more commitment. It means harder work. It means that they're going to have to train people, although it's not really that. So I really try not to talk about director. I just say, if you knew you could earn a $500 bonus at the end of this month, would you be interested? Right. So that's how I'm checking that. If you have other directors in your team, then you would go down and check in their line the same way. And that's what I've done before. So you can pull a report. Let's go. And this is how I've found Jill and how I found Lynn and things like that. I go into my reports. And this, of course, is when you kind of get a bigger team, but then you will get a bigger team and then you see names and you're like, whose team is this person on? And okay, where is this person coming from? And how have I not seen them before? And then you go to individual performance recognition. And this is the great place to get your monthly stats. I think we talked about this on the last leader call to do your recognition. Come on, computer. There we go. So I would pick, let me just look at January because I'm actually very curious about how our January is looking. And I select everybody in here. And then it'll sort by the sales so far. And I want to look at commissionable sales. So I can tell y'all right now who might be on your Rockstar. Okay, so directors. Okay, Kim Hutchinson, who's that? She's on Melanie's team. Melanie, here's your new Rockstar.
She wants it too.
Okay. So this is how I found Jill. This is how I found Lynn. So I saw their name here and I would, and I still probably will do this, knowing that I know Melanie's working with her. But for me, as the leader of this organization, for me to reach out to Kim and say, oh my goodness, Kim, you are doing phenomenal. I'm so proud of you. I just want to say I noticed you as being a rock star and wanted to let you know. Like, can you imagine the feeling that Kim would get that her boss, the boss would reach out to her, right? And make her feel empowered that she is standing out, because she absolutely is. And then we go down, well, Bob, Sherry, okay, these are all directors. Patricia Morris, I already know her story. She says she ain't gonna be a director, but she is a rock star seller. Kayla Lee, okay, so she's on Jessica's team, right? So Jessica, here's one of your rock stars. And then Becky Wilkerson on Melanie's team. Is Becky working towards Melanie?
She wants to. Actually, she's tried to call me twice while we've been on this call.
Okay.
But her husband has lost his job, so she needs the business. So yes, she's open and is very, very quick to learn.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's see. Alexis, I know about her. Y'all seen any of your people on here? A lot of these are directors. I should have taken the directors out, and that would have skimmed this list down quite a bit. All right. But I go through this every single month and kind of look at who is going to be on my radar for the next month. And then I also look at the current month. So the second week, for the end of the first week, I'm looking and seeing kind of where people stand. The end of the second week, I'm looking, because you'll find these new people that are coming up out of nowhere. You may have had somebody the past few months that were dead, that weren't doing anything. And then all of a sudden they're turning in these sales. And so you'll reach out to them and say, oh my goodness, I'm noticing that you're doing amazing. You've already turned in XYZ in sales. What are you doing differently, or what's going on? So since we don't have, we had some, I wrote down some, but in order for you may have a small team or a new team. I want you to think about the people that show potential, that show that they want it, that have either told you that they want to promote to director, or just show that they're booking shows, right? Because if they're trying to book shows, it means they want to do something. And then I have a lot of directors that tell me too, well, I have so-and-so that told me she wants to be a director. What is my first response to that?
She needs to get more bookings and parties, Joni.
Right. What does her show schedule look like? What does her show schedule look like? If it is 0, she's got work to do, because you can't promote with no shows. Right. So the biggest thing, and this is what we would start on our Rockstar call, is making sure you have an adequate show schedule. And I'm going to tell you all, friends, too, when you know this, you can't expect your team to do more than you're doing. Right. So a lot of times when I'm leading these calls, and I'm telling them they need more bookings, guess what I'm doing behind the scenes? I'm booking more parties because I need them. I cannot, in all consciousness, tell you all you need more parties if I need them to. Right. And so a majority of the time when I run these calls, the director is doing the same task, and then the director is growing their business along with the new person. And so then it's fun too, because then you're like, y'all are kind of doing it together, right? What if you promoted again right along with them? And by promoting again, I mean like adding 5 new team members, re-promoting yourself. And that's very important to do, especially once you promote. A lot of times we're like, whoo, I did it. Oh my goodness, I'm tired now. I'm gonna sit back. And then what happens? Woo, because we take a break and we stop doing the things that we were doing. But if you continuously work on it and you continuously work on re-promoting yourself over and over again, you will never fall short of your goals. You will continue at the pace that you were, and you will grow. So in doing this, Rockstars on the Rise, just like you're holding your people accountable, you need to hold yourself accountable to make sure you're doing the same exact things, that you have a full show schedule, that you are sharing the business, that you are recruiting, that you are doing all the things. And guess what I'm going to be doing? The same things. Y'all, if you only knew what my personal team looked like right now. It is not fabulous. My personal team sales are held by me and a few other people. Why? Because anybody that had any work potential, I've already promoted to director. Like anybody that was willing to do something, I already got y'all promoted. Y'all are sitting on this call right now. So I don't have any working people left. I need to go find some new ones. So my goal is to re-promote myself this month. I got a lot of work to do. I have 2 new consultants this month. That's not near where I need to be. So no, I'm doing the same things you all, and you'll be doing the same things that your rock stars are doing. All right, so our task today is going to be finding the rock stars and sending a message out and saying, hey, we're going to run this elite training program. And even if you're offering it to more than 2 people, they don't need to know that, right? You just want to let them know, I thought of you and I chose you. I was able to pick someone from my team and I chose you. And then you're going to get their buy-in. They have to be on board with it. You're not going to, us just dumping people into a group if they're not committed and they're not willing to do the work is not beneficial to anybody. So I want you to tell them, now this is, we're going to give you stuff to do. And we're going to ask you to be accountable and to do the things. Are you up for this? Oh, and don't forget to add too, that the people that have done this program before have seen, and they've done it diligently and done the things that we asked, have seen success. Ask Jessica, ask Kelsey, ask Joni, right? All y'all have done it.
I'm ready. Like, can we have started this group like yesterday? Because I have my list.
All right.
And I'm ready. I'm ready to hit senior director by March. Come on now.
All right, let's do it. So
Can we
I'll give
pick
you all the words to send them. But let's see, when do we want to do this?
I was going to say, can we pick Saturday mornings again? But then I know a lot of y'all are going to be in Florida next weekend, but I've got a lot of people like me that work a full-time job. And if I ask them to do another nighttime call, it's not going to happen.
No, and I'm good with Saturday. Honestly, right now is a good time to do Saturday calls because it's not summer. People aren't running out doing stuff. It's cold. They're going to be in bundled up. I don't care. They can wear their pajamas, whatever. So a Saturday call right now is a perfect time to do it. So I'm all about it. Yes, the problem being is that we will not be available on the 5th unless Joni.
Sign me up, woman. I'll do it.
All right. So Joni's not going to be at the leadership retreat. Stacy, do you have plans on Saturday that
Neither is Kelsey.
Not now. My plans fell through, so I can help.
okay?
And the only thing I would like to request, because one of my rock stars is actually on the West Coast, so she's 3 hours behind
Okay.
most of us, is if we could do like a later morning.
So we could do Bloodies at 11.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say, let's go ahead and get these people on board, and we need to get them on a call on the 29th.
Mhm.
So we'll do the kickoff thing on the 29th. And I want to put them. Did I ever create a group for us?
For this,
Yeah.
called the Italy Bound.
Oh, I did. I created it, but then I got COVID and then forgot about it. Okay, so it's.
Well, I mean, chat. Yeah, we have a.
I know we
Facebook
have a
group.
chat. I was thinking about a group that we're supposed to put
Yeah.
info in.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will then, well, I'll go ahead and create a chat group that will be special for them, and you will start adding them to that group this week. And I want us to go ahead and get a booking challenge out to them ASAP. Okay. And then we will meet the first call Saturday, the 29th. What is 11 okay for everybody?
It works for me, and I know that's usually when I do my one-on-one calls with that rock star. So she's usually available
Okay.
at that time.
Is anybody have any issues with 11 o'clock on Saturday?
This coming Saturday, right?
The 29th, yeah.
Typically I don't, but this Saturday I have people coming over for brunch, so
Okay,
that's the only Saturday.
that's fine. And if you get your people on there, we'll take care of them. And then, yep. We need to do this yesterday, just like Jessica said. So we'll start that. We'll go ahead and but I'm going to need your all's help too. Like with the chat, we need to continuously be putting ideas on bookings. We need to make sure they're excited, they're engaged. We want them to know they are special. They were picked out of this whole organization to be in this elite group. And they don't get it by laying around and not doing their job.
Are we gonna set it up like say 4 Saturdays and said this Saturday we're doing this and this and put that in the schedule, or they just when they log on, that's when they find out what we're doing?
You
I would
mean when
let
you,
them be, I'd let them be a surprise, because I would hate for somebody to be like, girl, I got that recruiting thing down pack. I ain't going, well, that they may learn something new that day.
oh, well, I will tell you, so with the Rockstars on the Rise classes that I've done before, they've been very successful, and they have produced directors out of it. But if you know me, you know I'm not one to like make a big plan and go by like this crazy schedule, because I feel like what has produced directors on our team is by hearing what they need and then training based on what they need. So I don't want to say we're learning this day, that the next day, and that the next day, because it may be different. They may not need that. Like, what's the point of me training on recruiting if they don't even have any bookings on their calendar? Right.
Right. And I like the idea of maybe like the last half hour, whatever, any questions they've got, pick our brains, all that good stuff. Okay.
Mhm. Yep. All right. So we have our task for this week, and we're getting on this, and this is happening. Any questions?
Are you creating a Facebook page for that?
I don't know. I'm going to start with the chat first and see how that goes. All righty. I'm excited. It's gonna be good, friends. All right. So let your people know that in order to do this, they will be expected to join the calls. If they can't be on live, they will be expected to listen to the playback like within the next 2 days, because their task they will have to do that week. And if they don't watch it till the next Friday, they're not gonna be able to do those tasks. And I'm not gonna be kicking anybody out of the group, but there's things they need to do in order to get where they want to go.
And I
So
would
what she's
definitely
saying
suggest-
is she's not gonna be kicking anybody out of the group, but she's gonna be kicking people out of the group if they don't do what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, they're just kind of kicking themselves out of the group if they're
Well,
not doing it.
it was also like the last time we did Rockstar on the Rise, if you did X, Y, and Z, then you moved to level 2 for Rockstar on the Rise, right? So that's what we'll kind of do too. The next
Well,
level.
kind of before. So what happened before was what had happened was I was I was doing a special group just like this where I had selected people. Well,
Mhm.
then word got out. And then like people that were outside of the group heard that I was doing that. They're like, well, I want to get in on that. Well, but I have a person that wants to get in. Well, I want to do. And then there's like 50 people that are in this supposed to be elite rock stars on the Rise group. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do now? So then that's when I decided I'm taking this group of 50 people, and the ones that do the task and show proof that they've done it, those are the ones that moving on to the next level. And that's why that got broken up the way that it did.
Okay.
And who knows, we may end up doing that with this. But again, I just kind of make my decisions based on how everything goes. If we then see that half of the group is not doing and half of the group is, I absolutely will take the cream of the crop and move them into a more advanced group. Yeah. But so let them know the next 4 Saturdays we'll be doing calls, and that we'll be working hard to get what they want out of this business.
And again, I'm just going to suggest do it as a voice clip or video. They respond to that so much better when they see and hear you and your excitement and that, "Oh, I chose you."
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, I'm excited. This is going to be good. All right, I'll start the chat group. Y'all start adding people in it. But again, don't just go adding people without you telling them what they're in for. Like they need to know they're committing to this. Okay, because when they say I'm in, I'm committed, that gives you the permission to hold them accountable. Gotcha. All right, everybody. Have a great week. We'll chat soon.
Y'all stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Jennifer, hang on for a minute.